India, the USA, Great Britain, the Netherlands, Venezuela. People from these and many other countries of the world live with us side by side. They are working, starting families, growing up children and simply enjoying life in Kazakhstan. In our program Connecting Cultures, they share their stories that had occurred before they came to Kazakhstan and after they arrived here. From them we will learn how the experience of staying in our country has changed their destinies. Your home is where your family is. The hero of our today's program, Dr. James Bwai, came to Kazakhstan to study, and as he made his family here, he decided to stay in this country. The hero of our program spent his childhood years in a faraway tropical Africa. In his childhood, James had to face with a lot of difficulties in his life, but it didn't break his spirit. Quite the contrary, it made our hero much stronger. James Bwai never looked for anybody's help. He's a self-made man. These personal qualities were instilled in him at an early age. Thus, for example, James assisted his father in selling sugarcane on the market, as well as implemented his own idea of selling fruits of a mango tree, which grew in their yard. Just self-cultivation, willpower and perseverance made it possible for our hero to meet the targets and realize his dream, that is prestigious education abroad. What was your childhood?
I was born in 1958 in Nigeria on the Plateau State. I was born in a very big family, 3 elder brothers, 1 elder sister, and I have some younger sisters and brothers. My parents were farmers. Yes, my parents were not educated. But my father was very, very clever, very, very intelligent, though he didn't go to school. My father was a master of all hands. You know, he was a doctor in the family. So it was very nice. It was very adventurous growing up as a child in a typical African village. Comparatively to you people who were born now in this environment, the difference is between heaven and earth. Yeah? You people were born like it's a paradise. You're living in paradise comparatively to when we were born. Life was very difficult, but it makes you become a man.
How can you describe yourself in your childhood years?
At school age, I attended primary school as any other child. I studied very well. I was an excellent pupil all my life in these modern days. Some children think they are studying for their parents, you know, which is very, very unfortunate. It is not so. You should always think that you are working for yourself. And that was inbuilt in me right from childhood.
What is especially fixed in your memory from that time?
My parents divorced. So my mother had to leave, and that kind of had some impact on me. Because I felt very, very, very bad. Because I was still very, very little when my mother left. I know what it means to grow up without a mother beside you. Who will defend you? Nobody. Only mother stands for her child, nobody else. And that kind of even motivated me more to work hard, to stand for myself.
When and why did you leave your home country the first time?
So I finished my secondary school successfully in 1978. I got a scholarship to study in America. That was my first time, a village boy leaving his country on an airplane. For me, it was a dream turned true.
What preceded your arrival in Kazakhstan?
My arrival to the former Soviet Union was in 1982. So when we arrived in Moscow, it was very, very, very cold. We were sent to Tashkent. There in Tashkent, we spent 1 year learning mostly Russian language and some subjects that we study in our various institutes.
Was it difficult to learn Russian language?
Oh, it was very, very difficult. For me, it was very difficult. I even kind of refused to attend classes in some occasions. I didn't go for lessons. I told teachers I don't want to study Russian language. I didn't want to study anything in Russian language. So I didn't finish my preparatory course very well because most courses I didn't attend them. So the questions were in Russian language, so I didn't understand most of those things. When I understood my fate was in Soviet Union, so I decided to start studying very well. I took myself into my hands.
How was your life formed in Kazakhstan?
So when I came to Kazakhstan, it was in August 1983. We were sent to Kazakhstan. So it was a kind of an orientation for us some 2-3 weeks before September, before the academic year started. It was very nice. We visited many interesting places in Kazakhstan, in Almaty. I kind of settled down. And in September, I started my studies in Almaty Veterinary Institute.
The hero of our program was reading for animal husbandry. All the academic courses were conducted in Russian. Nevertheless, James made every effort to master this language, and he managed to do it in quite a short period of time. His excellent knowledge of the Russian language, as well as his diligence in studies, didn't go unnoticed, and soon James became popular with his course mates and received support from his teachers. James Bwai successfully finished his studies and took master's degree, thus allowed him to study further and obtain his doctorate. The hero of our program had luck to meet his future bride when he was studying at Almaty Institute. Soon afterwards, a child was born to them, and in order to provide his family with all the necessary, James Bwai decided to start his own business while he was a student. He was one of the first in Kazakhstan who began to develop business in supplying metals to various iron and steel companies, as well as non-ferrous metals to jewelry industry. On graduation, did you work according to your specialty or not?
And when I graduated, 1988, one lady contacted me as an English-speaking fellow, somebody from an English-speaking country. She said, why not open an English center? Oh, I said, okay, that's very beautiful. And she opened up an English center, and she employed me as a teacher. So that's where I started teaching English. I used to have 50, 60 people in the class. So from here, so I had to evolve, I had to think how to teach them. I used so many different books until when I worked out my own system of teaching English language in Kazakhstan. Yeah, based on local contents. I had the opportunity to teach many big officials, government officials. I worked in an American embassy to teach local staff English language. I was employed there to teach them. I was employed to teach English language using my system in many, many private schools.
The English teaching methods developed by James proved their effectiveness and became popular among the citizens of Kazakhstan. Therefore, the hero of our program decided to conduct his own English classes for all comers in an individual way. According to our hero, his students appreciate not just an excellent teaching methodology, but also the way of conducting classes that allows them to study in an informal atmosphere and thus master the material. I understand you're going for sports. What sport do you prefer?
Yeah, actually, right from my secondary school, or I can say primary school, I started going in for sports. And my most lovely sport is cross country. My school was the city champion of all secondary schools in Jos. And among our runners, I was the second.
Did you take part in competitions at a professional level?
No. But at the university level, yes, I took part cross country. When I went to America to study, I took part in many cross country competitions where I had some medals. Besides, I used to play lawn tennis. And very recently, I started going to swim. It's very interesting. I just kind of swim like a frog. You know how frogs swim? It's very interesting. You know, sports is very, very important in our lives because movement is life. If we don't move, we will not be healthy. So I say sport is life.
Why did you decide to stay in Kazakhstan?
I decided to stay in Kazakhstan because there was this opportunity opened for foreigners to get established, to do business. So I decided to use that opportunity, not to miss that opportunity. That's first. Secondly, I have my family here. So time was not ripe for me to live with my family for Nigeria. So I decided to get established here, and that's it.
What attracts you to this country?
Actually, their culture is similar to that of African people. First of all, hospitality. Kazakh people, they're very hospitable people, you know, especially if you go to their villages, the way they welcome you. So at times I feel myself at home, though I'm a foreigner, but sometimes I feel myself at home. And not only respect to, foreigners, they have that respect to elders, like African people, you know. They respect their children and respect their elders. It's an African tradition. African tradition, children and elders, very close people to us. People that we hold, we esteem, people that we respect very much. And I see that in Kazakh culture, and I like it very much.
Do you keep in touch with your fellow citizens here?
Of course. We have African diaspora and we have Nigerian diaspora. And I'm the grand patron, yes, here in Kazakhstan, because I formed African Union when I was a student, and now we have association. And then I formed Nigerian Students Union, and now we have Nigerian Union in Kazakhstan. If there is any misunderstanding, either in African Union or Nigerian Union, I come in to reconcile all the situations. And we meet almost, in Nigerian Union, we meet monthly. All Nigerians living in Kazakhstan, we come together, especially in Almaty here. And all Africans, we meet every 2 months to resolve our issues. Yes. Actually, we are very, very, very much together. We are like brothers and sisters in Kazakhstan.
In addition, the hero of our program tries to pay much attention to his children. Nowadays, his 3 lovely grandchildren are growing up. When James Bwai was young, he set himself a task to become a good citizen not only of his country, Nigeria, but also of the whole world. And it can be said with assurance that James Bwai is a man of worth. Willing to settle in a foreign country, a non-resident is generally confronted with lots of difficulties. Dr. James Bwai is a person who doesn't live just for himself, but helps his compatriots to realize their goals and live better life in Kazakhstan.